Hey, this is Adam with Techdive. This is a Nintendo Switch. We're going to be talking about the upcoming Nintendo Can't Switch. The Nintendo Switch Lite. So the Nintendo Switch Lite coming out can't do a lot of things. Everybody who has to talk about it has to talk about all the things it can't do. Now it is cheaper, it's also smaller. It also can't remove its Joy-Cons, the controllers are attached. It can play all the Switch games, it can do multiplayer, it can pair more controllers to it, but it can't dock to a TV and it doesn't even have a kickstand. These kinds of things really make the Nintendo Switch lose a lot of its charm, because what's cool about the Switch is it's always a game that you can play in any scenario. They're big console Nintendo release titles, high graphics, good stuff. When I say high graphics, I mean it's not like a 64-bit N64 game on a little two-screen DS, you know, like this is a console game, right? You can get your console game in love right in your fingertips, whether you're on a trip, on a plane, or even if you're just at your home. You can switch to any scenario. If you got friends, switch. You got no friends, switch. You gotta play on your TV, switch. You want to play in the car, switch. You just got a lot of options. The Nintendo Can't Switch, the Nintendo Switch Lite, is something that you would only really want. The only reason I can think to get it as a dad is if I had multiple kids. I got one right now. If I had multiple kids, I would want maybe all of them to have a Game Boy type device in the car. And it'd be a little bit of coin to drop, but it would be cheaper to buy Nintendo Switch Lites for the kids when they're all wanting the device, and have one Nintendo Switch as kind of the main console. And that way they would all have sort of a Game Boy. They'd be able to play multiplayer games together on their own screens. They would get a lot more functionality out of it without me having to buy a full Nintendo Switch every single time I want them to have their own console. So that's a reason I can see a lot of people buying the Nintendo Switch Lite. Another reason I can see someone buying the Nintendo Switch Lite is they want something. They don't play console games much. They really are just kind of a DS Game Boy type user. They just play a lot of games on the go. They're just mobile. They don't play games on a console screen at all. They play a lot of single player games. They do play some multiplayer games, but they really just they've been a Game Boy person. The Game Boy has always been their kind of, it's always hit their product mark. I think the Nintendo Switch Lite might be a reason they would get it, but I can't imagine a lot of people wouldn't want to just spend that extra $100 to get the rest of the portability, because this is still a Game Boy. It's like a Game Boy with a giant screen. Now the screen is already a little small. I said a giant screen, but it's compared to a Game Boy, right? I keep calling it a Game Boy because this is really their console Game Boy collection, and it's got a big screen, but it's smaller than like an iPad, and it's smaller than a lot of like a kid's Fire. It's about the size. It's a little bit longer and a little bit skinnier than the original Kindle Fire. But the new Kindle Fire is a little bit bigger than this, right? So the screen, as far as tablets go, is small. It's bigger than your cell phone, but that's about it. Now the Nintendo Switch Lite has an even smaller screen, so we're getting closer to cell phone size. So that's a lot going against it, but it is cheaper. So I can imagine if you're having to buy more than one, that would be a huge draw why you'd want the Nintendo Switch Lite. But even for the person who just is a Game Boy user and really just wants a Game Boy replacement, the next gen of the DS, the next gen of the Game Boy, and they might go for the Nintendo Switch Lite. However, there are a few scenarios where I couldn't imagine someone wanting to spend that extra $100. Now, before you Linus Tech Tips me and be like, well, people are poor. I get it. That's really the main reason. If people can't wait to save that extra $100, or if a person has to buy it themselves, like let's say you're a teenager and you're trying to buy it yourself and you don't have income and you're saving up what little money you do get for your allowance, and that extra $100 means the difference of you having a Switch versus you not having a Switch, you're probably the one that's going to be buying the Nintendo Switch. As someone who uses the Nintendo Switch, the Switchness of the Switch, the portability, the removability, all this stuff is really heavily used. I highly suggest that you wait and just wait till you can afford the full thing. That being said, I'm still gonna call it the Nintendo Can't Switch because it just can't. It's a big bucket of can't do things this can do. But it's still gonna be cool. I'm probably still gonna review it. I could see reasons to buy it, but it's not gonna replace the Switch. It's not a Switch replacement. This has been Adam with Techdive. We do a lot of tech reviews and unboxings and tech talk and VR stuff. And if you're interested in any of that, give this channel a subscribe if you're looking for more. Like if this video was a fun conversation topic. Comment down below. Tell me what you think about the Nintendo Switch Lite. I want to know. I want to read it. I would love your feedback. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.